Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side is a progressive rock project from Stockholm, Sweden, founded in 2012 by bass player, songwriter, and producer Jonas Lindberg. It all started back in 2008 when the EP in Secret Place was recorded by Jonas as an exam project at the College of Music in Sweden. The first recordings featured a large lineup of musicians and was originally intended to work as a demo for an upcoming band. But as term ended, Jonas moved to Stockholm to pursue a career as a freelance musician, and the idea got put on hold. In 2012, In Secret Place was finally released on digital platforms as Jonas started to work on new material. This time, the lineup featured a five-piece band, and the second EP, The Other Side, was finished and released in 2013. The project was named Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side from the title track of the album after it was released. Following the enthusiastic reception of the 2016 album Pathfinder, Jonas began working on another full-length album in 2019, the album called Miles from Nowhere. It's more of a solo effort than the previous album, with Jonas playing most of the instruments himself and features a few more guest musicians returning on a few tracks, Simon Wilhelmsson, as well as Jonas's brother Joel on lead guitar. The 2022 release consists of 7 songs, which spans the full range of the progressive rock landscape, from the soaring Summer Queen, led by Jenny Storm, to the folksy instrumental Astral Journey, to the closing title track. A sprawling 25-minute epic, which features none other than Roy Stolt of the Flower Kings and Transatlantic on lead guitar. Please welcome lead and backing vocalist, multi-instrumentalist, composer, and producer of the Swedish prog-rock group Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side, Jonas Lindberg, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Jonas.
Hello, thank you for the intro.
You're welcome. The last Zoom interview I did from Sweden was from Nad Sylvan. Do you know Nad?
I know of him, but I don't know. I never met Nad myself.
Yep.
So.
He was actually eating his dinner while we did the interview.
Oh yeah.
I guess things are very relaxed in Sweden. He was drinking wine.
I guess.
You got a new single out, right? It's called "The Good Don't Last," which is a great song.
Yeah, it's it's the cover version for the Spock's Beard song, "The Good Don't Last." So we made our own, or I made my own version out of it, and then we recorded it.
It's excellent, by the way. And
and
of course, the song is written by Neil Morris, who we had on the show. Great guy, very, very talented. What do you have anything else planned? Is it another single, an EP, an album?
And well, I'm currently writing new songs for an upcoming album. But they're still in the demo phase, sort of.
Right.
Nothing is finished yet, so but I'm in the creative mode. I was writing earlier today, and gonna continue as soon as I get the chance. So.
Oh, good. When do you think that album could be released?
Oh, that I don't know. That depends on when we start record, and how long the process takes, and then it's up to the record label to schedule it.
Right. Your last album, Miles from Nowhere, was incredible, by the way. I was blown away. I'm a big progressive rock fan from way back. And my feeling on the album, I say those days of being deprived of monumental progressive rock music is over, because now we have Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side. So I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, thanks.
It's extremely well produced and engineered. You composed all the music, right? I was shocked because I listened to the album first, and then I went back and saw the videos, the YouTube videos, and I didn't realize most of the music was just done by 3 guys, right? Basically.
Yeah, mostly. I think there are a few songs where everybody is featured, but you know, a lot of the shorter songs is just me and the drummer really, and the vocalist.
Well, you're an incredible musician, that's for sure, man.
Thanks.
And your voice is great. You do you're the lead voice plus backing voice, and there's another Jonas in the
Mhm.
band as well who also sings. And both of you together, you mesh very well together, don't you? Your voices are kind of, in a way, a little bit similar. It's kind of like David Gilmour and Rick Wright, the way they kind of combine, you know?
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Thanks. Well, yeah, but we have some sort of the similar range, I think. He's a little higher up than me, uh, but uh, but yeah, it works very well. And I actually decided I haven't sung that much before. On the previous albums, Jonas was singing most of the songs, but now I decided to sing more, just for the fun of it, really.
Yeah. Well, you got a great voice.
Thanks.
Very good voice. And I'm going to talk about some of the tracks on that album because it's a great album.
Hmm.
Um, First of all, Secret Mode of Man, very catchy, upbeat melody. Really enjoyed that one. There are two songs on the album I think could have been hits, on terrestrial radio, if terrestrial radio was only like it used to be, you
Yeah.
know. Secret Mode of Man, and let's see what the other one was. I said, um, I'm looking now. I think it was.
Or Little Man, maybe.
Well, Little Man too, of course. But there was also another one that I thought was very, could have been a hit, and I'll come to it later, I guess. I think Little Man was the song that really attracted me to the band. I think I heard it on Morrow.com,
Oh,
which does a lot of new prog stuff, and
yeah.
I get a lot of my interviews from Morrow.com, by the way.
Oh.
But yeah, talk about Little Man because that's a very
Mhm.
interesting song.
Yeah, I think it turned out really well. It's actually one of my favorites on the album too,
Hmm.
and I heard a lot of people think that's the best one. Uh, but it's funny because the way it came together was we I wrote it with Jonas, and we were having a session at his house, and sort of ran out of ideas. So to inspire us, I just put up a microphone and said, "I'm going to improvise and let's jam something." And basically, what came out was the first verse of that song. So, and then I just needed to write some more verses and the choruses, but the song was pretty much done. In that,
Incredible.
yeah. Sometimes you're just lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the lyrics on that I really like. Little man, please tell me where you're going. Little man, please tell me where are you now. And then on the bridge, tell me your secrets, show me your plans, lay down your weapons, and I'll
Mm.
give you a chance. Show me a place where I can follow. Is there any, you know, better description about those lyrics? What were you thinking at the time, I guess?
Uh, well, the first that what you just said was that's actually what Jonas improvised, more or
Okay.
less. So I have no idea what he was thinking about. He just went with it, I think. But then when I put the whole lyric together, because I wrote the second verse and the choruses, and I was sort of thinking like about finding your own little man like within, sort of.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about the lay down your weapons. If there was anybody in mind when you thought about that lyric.
Not really. I
Not
think
really.
that's something that we changed, because I think the first time he sings it, it's "Lay down your worries."
Okay.
And I had the same lyric twice, and Jonas, when we recorded it, he said, "Well, let's put weapons in there instead and see
Yeah.
what happens."
Well, it fits well. It
Yeah,
really does. Yeah. Makes you think of about a lot of things.
yeah.
Just that one line. You would, what was interesting, I talked to a lot of songwriters, and I always ask them, "What's the deeper meaning behind those lyrics?" They said, "There isn't any. It just rhymes," you know. And I'm like blown away.
Sometimes that's it.
I needed something to rhyme, you know.
Most of the time, it's like I need to find something that rhymes, but still I need to find some sort of key to unlock, so the lyrics end up being about something.
Exactly. I'm assuming the lyrics come first before the music. Is that true? Or is it the music first?
It's the music first.
Oh, it is the music
But yeah,
first.
a lot of the times the songs sound pretty much similar to the demos sound pretty much arrange wise similar to the end product,
Hmm.
but without any vocals. So I don't really have the melodies or lyrics yet. I might have some idea
Right.
to start, and then I sort of play it back and then try to sing to see what inspires me to sing.
I do want to mention you did lose one of your band members. Is
Yeah,
it Michael? Is it Otterson? Is that how you pronounce his last name? Otterson?
yeah,
Okay.
Michael Oldison, I
Michael
think.
Otterson, yeah. And he was the former keyboardist, and then you took over duties, and you've done a marvelous job as keyboardist as well. So I just wanted to mention Michael's name because he
Yeah.
deserves the tribute, of course.
Well,
Uh,
he passed away right in the middle of the recording, so it
oh
was,
my gosh,
he was supposed to play on the album too. So that's
yeah,
why I played it, I think, because I always have played a lot of keyboards too,
right.
like filling in the holes and stuff. And I played on the demo, so I just decided to keep what was there instead of getting somebody else to play.
And I'm assuming he was a young man as well, right?
He was 36 at the
Oh
time,
my gosh,
so
that's a
uh,
shame.
we,
That's a
we,
horrible. Yeah.
yeah.
Huh. How, how difficult is it to be a multi-instrumentalist? I mean, just to pick up an instrument and record, that's
It can be difficult. Like I'm a bass player for like
right.
for the most part, and so that's my main instruments, and that's what I know. So whenever I have to play, I teach guitar too, so I'm kind of comfortable with that. But it's always takes a lot more takes for me to get there when recording other instruments. So it's a little bit harder, but I think it's so much fun to play a lot of instruments.
Yeah,
So you each time you get a little bit better too.
exactly. I just talked to Ben Craven. Do you know Ben
Mhm.
Craven?
No,
He's also another multi-instrumentalist. He did, all the songs on his album. He's from Australia.
yeah,
Matter of fact, he was the interview before you. But I'm seeing a lot more of that nowadays, guys that are going in the studio and just doing everything themselves. I think one of the guys who kind of started that was Todd Rundgren.
mm,
He did all the instruments, produced, engineered, And I'm
yeah.
assuming you produced and engineered as well, or did you have some help?
No, I did pretty much everything myself,
Wow.
yeah, except playing the other guy's parts. So I recorded, produced, mixed, played most of the instruments, and the cover and the videos, and so I really, because I made it partly during the pandemic, so I had a lot of time to put myself in all of those shares.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get expensive too because you got to buy more instruments.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm happy with what I have at the moment, but I figured, a while ago, I just thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a real organ?
Right.
And I thought about it, like, when will I ever need that?
Well, do you have a synthesizer as well, right?
Yeah, it's I have my Moog,
You get the
which
Moog.
I play
Yeah.
lead parts and bass, Moog bass on it, and then
Huh.
I have my MIDI keyboard, and that's it.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Back to the album.
Yep.
Okay, Summer Queen. And
Mm.
these tracks are, of course, in very similar traditional progressive rock uh, timing. You know, they're very long, 15 minutes, and they should be, you know, except for the ones that are going to become top 40 hits,
Yeah.
like, you know, like Little Man.
Over.
But
Yeah.
Summer Queen, I love the mood and tempo changes. It had the way
Mm.
it changes in the song. And Jenny Storm, she's got a great voice,
Yeah, she does.
incredible voice. You know, she sounds very folky, very prog-like. And Annie Haslam came to mind from Renaissance. I know Annie, and she reminds me of the early Annie Haslam. You know, when she sang with Renaissance. Um, love the synthesizer with Annie voice and the electric guitar,
Mm.
and that's you singing on that one, right? Basically, in the
Yeah.
beginning,
Mm,
wasn't that you?
in the beginning of summer, no, it's Jenny singing,
Oh
like
no, no, you're right.
first
That's
part.
the other
But
Jonas
then
singing. Yeah, you're right.
in the middle part, I share vocals with Jonas
Right.
actually, because I sang on the demo, and then I didn't know, because I was kind of happy with my singing.
Okay.
I also thought at first, the thing was that I thought that would be opening the album at first when I recorded it.
Okay.
Thought it would be fun to have both lead vocalists and, like, not
Sure.
me, have both of them. And then Jonas recorded and I recorded, and I couldn't decide which one was going to go there, so I decided to switch between to have some sort of a duet thing there.
Sure. Like
And it
David
worked out
Gilmour and Richard Wright. Why not?
well.
But you know, that track, I'm calling it a new Prague classic, and
Oh,
it's
really?
got, yeah, it's great. It's got an epic closing, which is, you know, it's a great song. How long did it take you to put that one together?
I don't remember, because that one was originally written in 2003. It's like 20 years old.
Wow,
And I co-wrote it with a friend in college.
Really? It's that old? I didn't know that.
We had a
Huh.
project um, that where everybody in class should write a song and then put it on an album or a CD. And I always liked that one. And then I thought, well, what if I could make it some sort of like other side version? So I extended it much. I think originally it was around 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I added the intro, extended a few solo parts, slowed it down, and added the outro, because I had the feeling that it needs a majestic ending. So I put that there too.
And it did.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing how much you got out of your learning in college.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't remember how long it took to
Wow.
write that, but it was easy to write now, to
Yeah.
make a demo of it, because it was already there. It was just, I needed polishing.
Amazing. The other amazing track I love, very Prague, is Oceans of Time,
Yeah.
which is also a great title for a song. And I saw the official video of that on YouTube as well. Keyboard
Mm.
intro. Now that's you on the song,
Yeah,
right?
that's me on the vocals.
That is you.
And Jenny
Great
sings
track.
the middle
Yeah.
section.
And it kind of had a little bit in certain places. I heard kind of a Yes flavor to it, maybe in the instrumental. You know,
Mhm.
talk about this track as well.
Well, that one, I I think it was the second track I wrote for this album, and I don't know really what to say. The synth intro,
Hmm.
the sort of main theme,
Right.
was what started it, because I was hired to play second keyboard on a gig.
Hmm.
I was practicing that, but I got bored. So I loaded another sound and started fiddling around. I was like, oh, that's great. I need to remember that, you know. So then I took it and wrote a song around that. And of course it got derailed and all of those other stuff got thrown in and it became longer and longer, you know.
Jonas, a lot of your songs are happening by accident.
Yeah, I think that's one way it could happen. I think also the most interesting songs happen by accident for me.
Sure.
Because if I think too much, then it becomes, you know, like either it becomes something that I don't like, or it becomes something too similar to something else that I've already heard. But by accident, just like, oh, that's cool. Let's keep it.
A lot of great songs happen with mistakes.
Yeah.
A lot of mistakes in songs, especially, you know, a lot of fusion and
Yeah.
that kind of thing, you know. And of course, there's a lot of music that's overproduced,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, the old days they weren't like that at all. But today, most of the music you hear on the radio is overproduced.
Yeah, it's so easy also because you have all your instruments in the computer, and it's very easy to just add stuff.
Exactly.
It easily piles up.
But what's so cool about an organ and a synthesizer and a Moog, you can sound like a full orchestra, you know?
You need that, and then a couple of guitars, and then you're good.
And a drummer.
Yeah,
You know?
more or less.
Or yeah, more or less. It cuts down on the expense, doesn't it? Another great tune, Astral Journey. You know what I thought about this song? I said, this is Kansas meeting David Gilmour. If David Gilmour played in Kansas, that's how the song would be.
Maybe. I am from.
I heard a lot of Kansas in that song, which is a great thing because Kansas was a great band.
Yeah.
Great melody. That's another favorite. It's an instrumental. A little bit shorter, 5:50, 5 minutes and 50 seconds, which is great because you got to have some short songs too.
To sort of balance it up, I think.
Balance it up, exactly. Why I'm Here. That's the next song. That's the one I thought should be another commercial hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually the shortest one too, I think, on the album.
Makes sense because they don't want anything long on the radio.
Both of those, Astral Journey and Why I'm Here, was guitar things that I just fooled around with for a while, and I thought I should build songs around them. But I haven't listened to Kansas.
You never listened to Kansas?
For me, Astral Journey is actually inspired. It's
right.
Inspired by Led Zeppelin and Swedish folk music.
Right. Well,
So
it's amazing how you could sound like other bands and not even know it. But
Yeah.
go on YouTube and punch in some Kansas.
I need to listen to them now.
Put in Leftoverture, which is a great album, and Songs for America, and you'll hear that Prague sound. These guys were from Kansas. They all wore like overalls, and they looked like they were right out of the farm, but they played fantastic prog music.
Yeah.
And it blew everybody away here, especially when I was in high school, because I said, these guys are playing prog? You expect country music or something, But yeah, you'll be impressed, I think. Why I'm Here has got some, you play some, the acoustic guitar. Is that you also?
The acoustic guitars is me.
Yeah.
The lead guitars is actually, that's my brother.
That's your brother, yeah. And you guys get along?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He came down to visit, and I asked him if he wanted to record some guitar on the album, because originally I thought that should be some sort of a keyboard solo.
Your brother's a great guitar player, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is actually the guitar player on the Good Don't Last single too.
Okay.
So he plays lead.
When you guys were in the house together growing up, did you guys jam? Did you start when you were kids?
Yeah, but we didn't jam that much in the house. We had a band together, a folk music band.
Okay.
I played bass and he played guitar. So back then, I didn't really play that much guitar. I used to go in and borrow his guitar
Mm-hmm.
to practice sometimes, but I mainly played the bass back then.
Who's the older brother?
I'm the older brother.
You're the older brother. Okay. Okay. So you have some control there.
I wouldn't say that.
It's hard being the younger brother. I know. I'm one of those. Why I'm Here is a great tune. Then you finish off with Miles from Nowhere with um, many parts. You got 5 parts, 5 little segments to that song, which I think was great and brilliant. I like the way you broke that up. It's almost a Prague album within a Prague album.
I wanted to break that up because I wanted all my friends to listen to the whole song.
Yeah,
Thought,
it's
well, what if I make it into tracks? Then they can listen to it, because I don't think a lot of people don't really have the time or take the time to listen through a full 25-minute epic. I
was
don't think.
well, especially now.
Yeah.
No, the younger generations do not. They're
No.
which is it's very sad because when I was growing up, it was all about the album and how long it was. Listening to Pink Floyd Echoes and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, you put on one side and then you just listen to that side.
Yeah, you want to space out.
Whenever it's
Yeah,
a lot of tracks or it's one track.
and it kind of helped when you were smoking weed too.
Wouldn't know that.
Well, it's becoming legal everywhere, so it's okay to talk about.
Oh yeah, in America, not here.
Really? You would think Sweden, because Sweden's kind of a laid back, to me, seems like a pretty laid back country. No?
Yeah, but no, that has nothing to do with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or I think it's the way people are just more laid back.
Right. They don't need it.
Probably not.
It's already in their DNA. They don't need anything. They're already chilled. But I like the way you broke this up. Part 1 overture, very spacey track, very proggy. Part 2, Don't Walk Away. Part 3, I Don't Know Where You Are, which was cool. Incredible organ on that, by the way. I heard a little Everslake and Palmer in that a little bit, and excellent guitar work. Great, love the harmony as well on that track. Memories, again, it had that Renaissance feel to it, and then you finish it off with Mr. Roy Stolt, right?
Yeah.
On lead guitar.
Yeah.
Miles from Nowhere, and of course he blows away. He's a fantastic player.
Amazing. I mean, when he sent me the solo, and of course I'm a big fan of the Flower Kings and have been for a lot of years. So when I got the solo from him, it was like I got goosebumps. So it was really cool.
Very, very cool to have an artist like that on your album. And you're going to attract a lot more great prog and great musicians, I think, on future albums, because you guys are so good. Is there anybody else that you'd like to have on the album? Maybe like a Steve Hackett or somebody like that?
I haven't thought about it. I had some idea that would be cool to have like Nick DiVirgilio on drums on some song, or maybe because I'm a big Spock's Beard fan too, so or maybe Morris or whatever. But I haven't really thought that much about it. It would be David Gilmour though, but I think he's a little out of my league.
Be worth a shot. Why not?
Why not?
I don't know. David's getting too relaxed lately. I've been watching a lot of his videos and stuff from home, and he's just chilling at home lately. He's hanging out with the grandkids, and yeah. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't retire. Another great band from Sweden is Opeth.
Hmm?
They're
I
legends as
don't.
well. Yeah,
I haven't listened to much to them though.
yeah, very very exciting. They've been around a long time as well. I just want to mention some other songs you guys have done in the past. Lost from
Yeah,
this is, and there's a lot of official videos on YouTube that people need to check out. Leaving the World Behind.
yeah, that's one
Uh,
of my favorites actually. Personal
Leaving the
favorite.
World Behind.
Mm.
You know, one of my favorites. There's two favorites of mine: Zenith and On the Horizon. Those are
Oh,
two of my favorites, I think.
yeah. On the Horizon is actually that's the only song I'm singing on Pathfinder album.
That was a good album, Pathfinder. You got a lot of good
No.
critically acclaimed. Uh, you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
that one got really good reviews back then.
yeah.
It's getting a couple of years on the neck now.
Uh,
But yeah, and speaking of lyrics, like On the Horizon is one of those where it's not about anything. It's
But,
mental.
but we shouldn't tell people that because they're going to come up with their own conclusion anyway.
Yeah,
Most people do.
I think it's up to the listener to
Sure.
what it's about.
It's funny though. The first time I ever heard that, I forgot who I was interviewing, but they were big in the music world. And he said, I just needed the rhyme. I came up with a
Yeah,
few words. It's amazing,
how it is sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah. uh, Peace of Mind, Closer to the Sun. Another, you guys got a lot of good music out there, but I think this album is my favorite. Yeah,
yeah.
because
Miles from Nowhere.
it just
Or,
blows me away.
yeah.
So, who are the musicians growing up who influenced you? You think?
When I was a kid, I think like well, Deep Purple. I listen a lot to Deep Purple and especially the Neil Morse, Steve Morse, the other
Hmm.
Morse era
Yeah,
of Deep. And I also listen a lot to Led Zeppelin and of course Pink Floyd is one of my biggest, the listen to a lot. And yeah, I think those kinds of bands.
yeah. How about Yes? Were you a Yes fan?
No, not really. I've
Yeah,
heard some songs, but I never listened that much to Yes.
right.
Not Genesis either.
Huh?
But
I'm
I've heard
surprised.
all of their. I heard all of their albums.
Right. How about today? I like new music. Is there a new band out there that you particularly enjoy?
When did I? Well, lately I've been listening some to Porcupine Tree
Hmm.
and Wilson actually starting
Yeah,
to. So that's really what I'm listening to now.
those are great musicians. They really are. I think there's a lot of great prog music today. And I just wish they would get more, you know,
Recognition.
more recognition. Yeah, that's why I do what I do. I mean, I've had interviews recently. I just had Ben Craven from Australia. I've had RPWL, who's very big Pink Floyd influence from Germany.
Yeah.
I talked to Michael Franklin, producer from Vietnam. I mean, I'll bring them all to the show. With Zoom, you can do that now. But all you guys deserve to be on commercial radio. And like I
I'm glad.
said, in the olden days, you would have.
Yeah.
So
Well, might happen sometime.
I hope so. I
You never
really
know.
do. So what are you most proud of to date with the band and everything?
Well, I think if I'm gonna talk about songs that I'm proud of,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, Leaving the World Behind, The Other Side, and Closer to the Sun are songs that I'm really proud of.
Right.
And of course, all of the new album.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I think
Some,
Little Man really hit a nerve with a lot of people. They just,
yeah,
that kind of sparked a lot of people into listening to you guys, and then when they listen to the rest of the album, then they get totally blown away,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and everybody is just playing so good throughout the whole album too.
Yes.
That's also one thing that I'm really proud of, the way I managed to produce the whole thing. Like everybody's giving their best performances, and it sort of came together really
Hmm.
well.
It's a fantastic band.
Yeah.
Another band that I've interviewed that I love is from Norway. The band's called Mir, Meer.
And
And these guys were all friends from college. Same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And they evolved into a band. And they've been friends for a long, long time. They hung
yeah.
together and now they're making music, making records.
I think that's a very common way. Like
Yeah.
uh, for me, it's like all of the guys, or almost all of the guys in the band, I met when I studied uh, at the university
Hmm.
in up in northern Sweden, and we still hang out and we still play together a lot. You know.
Is is college, is that free in Sweden or you have to pay for it?
I know it's free.
Oh my God.
I've, I've never paid for education actually.
We get clobbered over here, man.
Yeah,
My kids, they still owe like 30, $40,000 each in college, And
but still, it's
my
yeah,
son does he did online college,
oh, yeah,
University of Phoenix, and that's actually more money than actually going to a college,
yeah.
you know. So see, you guys got a lot of perks over
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's
That's one of
incredible.
the best things here, that education doesn't really cost anything.
Yeah,
It's but one thing that we do is have to do is like if you want to live, if you want to have money while you're studying, you have to take
right,
a loan. So that's why everybody now is in their grown up years pays it back all the time.
right.
But still, it's really worth it.
Oh yeah. Well, look
Maybe,
look what it look what the country produces.
yeah,
I mean, for such a smaller country, you guys produce some very intelligent people. That's what it's all about. That's what
yeah,
we should be doing. It's good for the country to give away free education, don't you think? Let's make
yeah,
everybody smart.
yeah.
You know,
Always a great thing.
look at you, how many instruments you play.
Well, yeah,
You
I don't
know,
know if that has to do.
well, it
I don't.
helps. You went to college. If you had to pay, I mean, if you had to pay 30, 40, $50,000 in fees in college, I mean, that would have been, it's difficult for anybody,
Yeah, yeah,
And then to learn to be an engineer, producer, we have schools like that here in Florida, a school called Full Sail, and they will teach you how to be an engineer and producer, but it's really expensive.
yeah.
Not everybody can afford that.
Mm.
All right, the big question, touring. Are you going to
Yeah.
tour?
I hope so. I mean, we haven't been able to tour yet, and I mean, as we are kind of a new act, I haven't really, I don't know a lot of venues
Right.
where we go. So if anybody knows any place where they think we should play, then let's, you know, reach out and tell me about it.
Well, I know you'd be of course, you're going to be very popular in your own country, but Europe, I know, they love Prague music.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like Germany and
right.
uh, Holland and Belgium and all of that.
Oh, yeah, you'll be a big hit there.
Yeah.
And then you come to America, you know.
Hmm.
I can help you in Florida. I know people, so
Yeah,
I
that
can
would
get
be
you
great.
venues in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
Also be
wonderful.
really cool to get to play on the cruise,
That's
some
right.
the Prague cruise.
Yes. Do you need to be invited, or can you push them a little bit, or?
I don't know. I think Roy Avin actually told me that he was pushing for us to go there.
Good,
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
good. Roy's a good guy.
Oh yeah. He's great.
I've worked with him now for a while. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing's the festivals. There's a lot of festivals that you guys can perform at too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Jonas, here's your final question. I ask everybody this question. I get some very interesting answers. There's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it or not, called Field of Dreams. And in the movie, he gets to make a wish, and he goes back in time and relives his, fantasy from he wanted to be a professional baseball player, and he got to play with all the greats, blah, blah, blah. So if you had a wish to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
I would say Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Yep.
Yeah. That's easy for me, actually.
You fill in for the Richard Wright part on keyboards, I guess, or
No,
guitar?
I don't know. I was actually thinking bass.
Bass. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But I could fill in for Rick Wright too. Like that would be fun, but big shoes to fill though.
Yeah, I know. They're a fantastic band. I mean, that's, Dark Side of the Moon is probably the number one classic
Yeah.
Prague
Great
album of all times. And of course, everybody says, the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's was the first Prague album. And that's of course another incredible album. But to me, it's if I was on a desert island somewhere and I had to pick my music, it would be Dark Side of the Moon. For sure.
Sure.
I want to say you can purchase the latest release, Miles from Nowhere, by Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side, which is a great name for a band too, by the way.
Oh, you think?
That's the long-awaited second album. It's out, and you can buy that at www.lindbergmusic.com. Also, it's on Amazon as well. And do you have vinyl available for that?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, great.
Vinyl and CD.
Fantastic.
And it's also, available digitally.
Sure.
Anywhere that's available too. I haven't checked, but iTunes and all of those places.
Spotify. And also, for more information about Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side, you can go to www.lindbergmusic.com. You're on Facebook, Bandcamp. You have a YouTube channel, SoundCloud, Spotify. Very easy to get a hold of you guys, which is good. Yeah. And of course, special thanks to Roy for arranging this interview.
Yeah.
Anything else you need to add?
No, I think we got it covered.
Good. Well, last thing to say is go write some more good music. Great music. Spend the rest of the day writing. Jonas, I just want to say, man, you're an incredible artist. Thank you for the wonderful music. I love the album. 5 stars all the way. It's good to have great prog music back again, like the old days. And we really appreciate that. Thank you for being on the show, Jonas.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.